So hello and welcome everyone, and this is Metal Wolf Chaos. This is the original version. There have been a couple of people recently that have been saying just how fun is this game, because everybody's getting hyped up about it, but they don't actually know. And this is me actually playing the game. I own this. I own the original Japanese copy. I just had to get it. So, I'm going to be playing one of the missions here for you. I'm basically showing you how fun it is. This is one of the levels that they showed off at E3. And basically we're going through the Grand Canyon and just taking out a load of enemies. Now, the thing to note about Metal Wolf Chaos at the beginning is that it's kind of slow when you're not using boosters. I say that because, as you can see here, with the Presidential Crisis suit, if I'm not boosting ground using the, what is on the original Xbox pad, the X button for boosting, every time I tap it, I boost. And when I don't tap it, I go really slow. So the idea is that you want to be boosting almost all the time. We've got a boost gauge in the top right hand, which is a yellow gauge right next to my health. And this indicates how much energy I've got left to use for boosting. But basically, the game is really, really simple. You go from A to B in every mission, and all you do is just destroy everything that you can see. You run into a couple of bosses along the way that are really fun to play against, and you can go out of the level like that if you mess up. Fun times. That's because I tried to ground pound a vehicle on the edge of the level. So basically the main key point for this game, or the main selling point, is being able to destroy everything with a huge arsenal of weapons that are stored in the Crisis Suits backpack. And the Crisis Suits backpack on the original Xbox can be accessed by tapping B, and then immediately you have access to a whole arsenal of weapons, and you are not limited to these weapons in the game. You can actually upgrade them, you can change different weapon types. So for instance, you can have flamethrowers, you can have other very zany style weapons, including shark launchers and football launchers. You have a shotgun in the end game that can fire confetti, which is made, well, is money. Basically, all these new weapons that you get from, and this is going to sound really stupid, but finding UFOs in levels, downing them, and capturing the alien by deplenishing its health, basically just by shooting it. Everything in this game you interact with is either by shooting or stomping on it. The idea is when you go through the level, you get at the top here a set of presidential points, and your presidential points are awarded to you for various different things. It can be like getting combos, chaining attacks together. Like for instance, if I killed a load of troops and then this helicopter, I'd get a combo for that. That allows you to then access more weapons later on because you get money awarded to you for that. This is looking really crap because I'm trying to use weapons that don't have the right range. Basically, the weapons act how you would expect them to against the different varieties of enemy in the game. So, if you've got, like, say, standard firearms, you are not going to have enough punching power to go through armored vehicles, which is why you have the rocket launchers. So I don't want to be using a Desert Eagle no matter how big it looks in-game on, say, a tank, because it's going to be doing no damage compared to a missile launcher. So it's pretty neat that it takes that kind of dynamic into account, so you have to keep constantly switching up your weapons to sort of adapt to what you're shooting at and make sure that whatever you're shooting at, you have the right thing for the occasion. As well as that, you can actually shoot down enemy projectiles and other things with different weapons, which is really good, because it means you can actually intercept enemy attacks. All the enemies don't really pose too much of a threat, apart from the bosses. That doesn't mean that they can't down you. They tend to overwhelm you with the numbers more than anything else, which it can get ridiculous at times, but as long as you keep track of everything, it's fine. It uses a twin stick system to be able to move and look around. Of course, nowadays everybody's used to left stick move, right stick is aim. That's basically what this game uses. Why on the original Xbox pad, the Duke that I'm using here, is to stomp, X is to boost dash, B is to open the backpack, and then the R and L triggers are to go through each of your weapons. You can scroll through them at any pace you want. Basically, every time you press the triggers, it allows you to scroll through another weapon, and then you can simply select B when you're done finding which weapons you want, and you immediately have access to them in the backpack because it closes. So here's another enemy here. We're going to use the sniper rifle. I've got 2 sniper rifles that have armor-piercing rounds. They're not too good, but I could really use an upgrade. The upgrade system in this game is really cool because when you earn, like I said before, presidential points, you can use them after a mission in the garage area to buy, upgrade, invest in new weapons, which will allow you to then go through either previous levels or future levels a lot quicker. You can also, in the levels, as well as taking out aliens, you can save prisoners of war like I'm trying to do here. And basically when you... I've killed these ones though. Oops. When you save prisoners of war, you get a better chance of upgrading stuff quicker. So like for instance, I've saved them there because I didn't smash into them. It's one of those games where you feel very overpowered and very empowered really quickly because of how powerful the crisis suit is, and once you get used to the mobility like I'm doing here, then you're perfectly fine. You also get access to a special move when the gauge on the right, the blue gauge, there's like a half circle at the moment. When you have that full up, that will allow you to fire every single weapon in the President's arsenal in one go, and that does a lot of damage, and it is amazing to see. But obviously, because of this being on the original Xbox, it kind of chugs the frame rate a little bit. That's about it for the game. It is really simple, it's really fun. In some areas it can be challenging depending on which bit it is. It mainly tends to be bosses that are challenging. We'll save more people here. The obvious selling points of this game are the fact that it is just a meme and that it has a lot of funny dialogue in it, and I'm glad From have actually decided to take up Devolver's offer to bring it to the West now, because it means that a lot more people are going to be able to experience this firsthand and see what it's like. I'm not too sure about the change in art direction at the moment. Like I said in one of the previous videos where I covered this, I honestly hope that it, because it's work in development, that, or work in progress, that we can actually get a version that looks like this, or if not, they can open it up so that we can get access to the different textures and shaders, because this version actually looks really nice. All the textures look really rusted and worn down, and that's something that I've not seen on the E3 version at the moment. Like I said, it might be because it's work in progress. But yeah, basically, the game is so much fun. It's simple. What you see is what you get, really, with it here. There's nothing else to it in terms of complexity or different depth to it. It's literally just walk from A to B, blow things up, and have a good time doing it, and feel really empowered at the same time. I absolutely love this game. I play it on like a weekly basis because it's just fun. No, and most of the other games that I enjoy, I do not play on a weekly basis, so that should tell you how much I enjoy it. I love the way that it all plays out. You can get different Crisis Suit skins later on as well when you do better in the levels. You get ranked based on your time, how much you destroy, how many combos you get, and how much damage you take. So there's, as long as you're moving quite fast through a level, destroying everything, and not really letting anything stand in your way, then you will get a really high score, which will allow you to eventually, with the aliens that you've collected and the time and money that you've invested into the various weapons, it will allow you to get different skins for the Crisis Suit, one of which is the American flag draped all over your Crisis Suit, which looks amazing. There's also a couple of other ones in the Xbox version that I don't know whether they'll keep in that are based on the actual Xbox itself. Apart from that, it's a really fun game. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to cover it more when the actual new version comes out, but I'll also cover it more before it comes out, because there is not many ways for people to get hold of this apart from importing it, and not everybody has that amount of disposable income to drop on this thing. In fact, currently I keep this game in a glass cabinet for most of the time on display just to show it off because of how ridiculous it is and how expensive. So, anyway, I'll see you guys next time while I fight this boss. I hope you enjoy. Let's get the rocket launcher here in the M4A1. Let's use the backpack. So this is what I was on about with the backpack. You can just fire everything at this thing, and it's down in 2 seconds.
Sir Richard, I'm sorry.